one of the things that I recently ran into, James Lindsay put out kind of his definition of what he would call critical race theory.
Mhm.
He said critical race theory can be summarized as accusing everything of being racist until the subject of attention is under the control of the accuser. Would you agree with that definition?
Absolutely. Yep. I totally can. And now this is the thing though. This is the thing. And if you follow me for a while, I just did a video series, the definition of critical race theory. If you've been following me for the past year and a half, I've made it very clear. I don't define critical race theory because when I got into this thing, when I tried to define it, everybody I would ask had a different definition of it. And I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Like, this does, that's what it is. It's meant to be like this. It's not supposed to be concrete because we can all probably agree what is a definition of a table. We could all probably come up with a definition that would be very similar. You know, four legs, a flat plateau, usually stands in the kitchen or the living room. Okay, we could probably agree with that. But when it comes to critical race theory, it's all over the place. So for literally better part of a year and a half, I've said I'm not going to define it. I'm not going to even look for it. And I've had people on my channel, you can't even define critical race theory. Okay, no problem. Tell me what you did with the George Floyd thing, and I can tell you where you are. It won't take long.
Mhm.
So, and the reason I decided then to really last 2 weeks ago to start defining it was because of the American Bar Association. I was like, wait, they actually have a definition here, and I'm going to use their definition, and we're going to parse that apart. And I mean, it's as foolish as any other definition I've heard, but at least we could say, hey, I didn't just make this up. This is the ABA. So you guys gonna have to argue with the American Bar Association. And it's funny because a lot of the people who have been all week long and all in other comment sections pushing back on me about my definition of critical race theory, they seem to be real quiet when I use the ABA definition. So I agree. I just ask people to explain to me how you handle certain situations. So if for example, if Mike got hired as pastor of the church, and I was also, but Mike and I were both vying for a position to be pastor of the church, and Mike got the role as pastor of the church of XYZ church, what would be your response? Would you say that Mike was more qualified? Or Mike was more learned, or Mike maybe connected with the audience better? Or would you immediately go with the most clear and evident difference between Mike and I right now on the screen? What would you do? There we go. That's going to already start giving me the information I need. If you say that it's fine because Mike was more learned, he's a seminarian. Okay, there we go. All right, then. So you're not using the external, the obvious external, to make your decision. Or if you say, hey, well, Mike got it because the previous pastor was white, the congregation is 75% white. He's there we go. There we go. And it's very clear now. I can see exactly where you get that from because you don't know those things. You don't know that that's why. Because keep in mind, critical race theory gives you like a superpower to be able to read people's minds and know their intentions and motivations of the heart far more than even God, the Holy Spirit, has said that He's given us the ability to do. So you know that, right? Because if you don't know that, and by the way, that would be bearing false witness. So you would actually be in sin if you couldn't prove that. Just kind of little nuance there, because you just bore false witness against Mike and against that whole congregation, and he kind of brought up a false accusation against the elder. Yeah, so you might really want to know that you know that, because otherwise you're lying. But so that's why I don't usually bring up a definition, but I like Lindsay's definition. I think it's a good one as well. But I guarantee you, somebody in the comment section is going to say they disagree with him.